We are here today to talk about biochar or anguru charcoal. We're basically going to talk about how to turn waste, agricultural waste, into value. Today, this morning, we're going to talk a bit about what biochar is and why it works. And then this afternoon, we'll go on to talk about and practically show you how to make it, how to prepare things, and show you how to do it practically to bring back to your communities and organizations. So in terms of a quick introduction to me and the background to this project, I am from the UK, from London. I have a master's degree in environmental economics and have been working with biochar for 2-3 years with the British government and with projects in the UK and in Sri Lanka for 1 year. And the whole purpose of this project and this education is to help you enhance the value of your cultivations by turning your waste into something valuable and putting it back into the ground to remediate and heal your soils, to give value to your crops, and to help you economically and environmentally. What is biochar? It's very similar to Jiva Anguru or charcoal. The main differences between biochar and anguru or charcoal is what you do with it and how you optimize it to help your cultivation. You can make biochar out of any organic waste, any bio waste, whether it's coconut shells, wood, rice husk, coconut husk, even manure. You can make biochar out of anything organic. It's basically a form of pure carbon. So when you create it, all of the carbon that usually gets released into the atmosphere gets stored in this material, and so it lasts for thousands of years. It's easy to make for free at home or on your farms using things you already have in your gardens. It's scientifically proven in Sri Lanka, in different soil types, different cultivations, and not just proven in Sri Lanka, but proven all over the world. Now we'll talk about why it works. And so because of how it's made during a process called pyrolysis, which is where the organic material is heated to high temperatures without the presence of oxygen, which means that instead of burning into ash, that biochar is created because there's no oxygen present in that reaction. Think of it like a sponge in the soil, okay? So with a sponge, all those little holes, all of that big surface area that can absorb lots of things, whether it's water, whether it's nutrients, whether it's microbes, all of those holes so this is biochar under a microscope, and imagine biochar like a sponge, very absorbent. Okay, because of that sponge-like characteristics, it absorbs lots of water, lots of nutrients, and helps to balance the soil and remediate the soil if it's been degraded. It's also a perfect breeding ground for microorganisms. So all of those beneficial microbes in the soil that reproduce and make nutrients available to plants, they all live in the biochar and multiply rapidly in the biochar compared to normal soil. And because it's so absorbent and because it lasts for so long in the soil, it is an excellent way to protect your cultivation against droughts or extreme weather, as well as increasing the fertility of the soil. And because of its absorbent nature, it can massively reduce any chemical fertilizers or other inputs that you need for your cultivation. And each year that the biochar is in the soil, the better its benefits become. So because it continues to improve the soils and heal the soil and continues to be a breeding ground for the microbes, year after year, the benefits increase. And so you only have to apply biochar once every 5 or once every 10 years, and the benefits will continue to be realized. Unlike traditional fertilizers where you have to apply frequently, every year, every 6 months, with biochar, it's a one-off application every 5, 6, 7 years. In terms of making and using biochar, it's a very simple process. As we say, you can make it for free at home using things you already have, and it's very, very simple process. Whereas with compost or vermicompost, there's lots of work involved. With biochar, you can just make one batch or a few batches and then leave it like that. It's very quick and easy. So there's 4 stages for biochar production. One is preparing your feedstock, your raw material, and as we say, this can be any organic waste, whether that's coconut husk, wood, etc. The second stage is the pyrolysis, and this is where you are heating / burning that raw material without oxygen. You can do this either in barrels or in a hole in the ground. It's very simple. The third stage is once the biochar is created, you want to optimize it. So add the nutrients and add the microbes. And the way you do that is by adding it to a biodynamic nutrient solution or a liquid fertilizer. And the way that you know that you've got good biochar is if you can see everything has been carbonized. So whether that's the fibers on the coconut shell, or if you're using a coconut husk, you know, all of the fibers are still present, and it sounds like it's very brittle and easy to break, like this, and it sounds a bit like broken glass. And once the biochar has been optimized and absorbed those nutrients and microbes from those liquid fertilizers, you then apply the biochar to the root zone of the plant. And we recommend, you know, it depends on annuals or perennials, but about 10% application rate. We also want to crush up the biochar so that it's in small, not quite powder, but much smaller than this. So each piece of biochar is a smaller particle size, but not powder. And as I said, one application can last more than 5 years. You don't have to continually reapply. Okay, and so now let's talk about some of the benefits, some of the positive outcomes of using biochar. So the main one is the economic benefit, right? And so by using your waste and creating biochar and putting it into your soil, you can decrease the amount that you spend on other inputs like fertilizer or irrigation, and you can increase your yield. It also increases the resistance to drought, it revives the soil, and because it is helping the soil structure, it also helps protect against pests and diseases. And now we'll talk about the benefits for the wider community, which include reduced smoke pollution from burning crop waste or burning your agricultural waste, as well as reduced chemical runoff into waterways. It also improves the quality of the food, whilst enhancing your community resistance to volatile weather and problems like that. In terms of what we do in Sri Lanka, so first and foremost, we are creating these free education workshops and resources for everyone in Sinhala, Tamil and English to explain about biochar and teach people in video tutorials online how to make it. So after this, we will share those resources once they are ready on the website so that you can show the rest of your organizations how to make biochar with the video resources. The free resources will make it as easy as possible to follow step by step and make biochar at home yourselves for free. We're also manufacturing biochar ourselves and testing it with different testing organizations in Sri Lanka, like the Cinnamon Research Institute, the Hector, exactly, and we will be working with the Ministry of Agriculture as the projects proceed. And we are also working on different methods and technologies and approaches for which you can make biochar at home, or bigger projects can make biochar in bigger quantities. And so in terms of some of the partnerships that we have, we're working with universities in the UK, the USA and Sri Lanka, as well as government organizations in Sri Lanka like SPDA and the different ministries, as well as with different NGOs like LOAM, FIAN, TURN, and other organizations that are helping to spread the message about the positive impacts of biochar. Okay, and so there's three things that I want to conclude with, okay? Firstly, biochar is proven, practical and natural, and it's ready to be used. Secondly, biochar it just makes sense. It's a way to recycle your nutrients and your waste back into the soil to protect it and improve your cultivations in the short, medium and long term. And finally, other countries are beginning to use biochar more and more, whether that's Cambodia, Vietnam, Colombia, countries in Africa. Farmers are beginning to use biochar more and more and gain its benefits. And we want to bring those benefits here to Sri Lanka to make sure that Sri Lankan people and farmers benefit from a new approach to an old method. Okay, and so, right, this afternoon, I'm gonna show everybody how you can make biochar practically, easily, for free, outside over there. So we're gonna get our hands dirty, which is gonna be quite fun.